In the Philippines, constantly wrestling with its identity, caught between who we were, who we are forced to be, and who we want to become. Do we ever stop to ask, are we still fighting the ghosts of Old Manila today? When we look at our debates on tradition versus progress, how much of that is a replay of a drama written decades ago? A blessed day, everyone. I am Zoe Kane Narratives. Join me as we explore the stories that define the Filipino experience and beyond. Usually, we talk about contemporary young adult literature or the latest thrillers here. But today, I wanted to step back and tackle a giant. We are diving into tropical Baroque, the four Manileño Theatricals by National Artist for Literature Nick Joaquin. So, why did I choose this? Honestly, because I feel like as young Filipinos, we sometimes suffer from collective amnesia. We are so focused on the future that we forget the foundations we are standing on. To understand the chaotic beauty of the Philippines right now, I felt I needed to go back to the source. I needed to understand the man who understood Manila's best. Tropical Baroque. It's not just a cool name. It's a diagnosis of the Filipino condition that Joaquin himself created. Think about it. Baroque refers to that grand, intricate, overly ornate style we inherited from Spanish colonization, the dramatic churches, the rigid Catholicism, and the deep shadows. Then you add the tropical, or the heat, the humidity, the primal, pre-colonial instincts of our islands that clashed within and eventually warped that European influence. Nick Joaquin's genius was realizing that we are both. Our culture is a clash between the crucifix and the ballet tree. And I have to give a massive shout out to the brilliant playwright, Rody Vera. If you get a newer edition of this book, read his introduction. Rody Vera perfectly sets the stage, explaining how Joaquin used the theater not just to entertain, but to perform a sort of cultural exorcism on the Filipino soul. So, how did a book of plays published decades ago that shaped Filipino lives? Before Joaquin, a lot of our literature in English was trying very hard to sound American. Joaquin kicked the door down and said, "No, we sound like this." He validated our history. He showed a generation of Filipinos post-World War II who were rushing toward Americanization. That Spanish past wasn't just something to throw away. I know it was painful, but it was also glorious and deeply embedded in who we are. These plays shape us by forcing us to confront the pain of change. Especially in a portrait of the artist as Filipino, he asks the hard question. When progress comes, what happens to the soul of the family? What do we sacrifice to survive in the modern world? And that's a question of every Filipino family still asks today. So, my biggest realization while reading this, Nick Joaquin destroyed the stereotype of the Maria Clara. You know, the passive, fainting, and submissive Filipino. If I had to distill this entire collection into one major lesson, it's this. We cannot build a sturdy future by bulldozing our past. Tropical Baroque teaches us that we shouldn't be ashamed of that messiness. We have to own our complexity. Embracing that contradiction isn't a cultural weakness. It's actually our unique Filipino strength. But I urge you, especially my fellow young Filipinos, pick this up. Why? We need these stories to anchor us when the modern world feels a little too chaotic. So Nick Joaquin reminds us that our struggles today are inherited. And in understanding them, we find the hope to change them. So thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've ever seen a stage production of any of these plays. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep reading, stay complex, and I'll see you next week.